Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to see another topic from HC3, that is Development and Management of School Education. So, this is the third paper that we are going to appear. Okay, so here, Development and Management of School Education, we have 4 units. Under 4 units, see, the first unit is status of secondary school education. Okay, so under this we are going to study mainly about the primary, higher secondary, high school, and what are the different types of schools we have, like a government school, government aided school, unaided private schools. Okay, then what is called as open schooling. See, all are important questions. What are the important questions? We are going to see it here. Okay, whichever is going for to come for exam, we are going to see only those questions. Okay, today. And in unit 2, constitutional provision, okay, and commissions of school education in India. And the third unit is educational management, and finally school resources and programs. Okay, so coming to the first unit, in the first unit, we are going to study about major objectives of primary, higher secondary schools. Okay, see, in this, mostly they ask only higher secondary, that is secondary educations. Okay, they concentrate only on that. What is called as secondary education? What is called as secondary education? See, secondary education means it is a link between, or it is a next level of, see, primary, high school and higher secondary school. Okay, so they come to the adolescent stage. Okay, by the time when they reach the secondary class, they become adolescents. So we are preparing them. Okay, so we are preparing them to face the world. So generally you should have some points, so that you imagine and write. See, for example, you keep somebody who is studying 10th standard or 11th or 12th standard, your relatives or your near neighbors or your school students, whoever it is, you keep them in your mind and then start writing whatever you are studying. When you study, you should imagine what you are studying, then only you can put your all your effort so that everything get memorized. Okay, you cannot forget that during the exam times. Okay, so please think what you are reading, you imagine in your brain, so that you give a picture or a formation for that and you write it down in the paper. Okay, as I already told you, please take notes, please make notes for the exam purpose. Okay, so in secondary education, there is very important question is major objectives of secondary education. They will ask, sure, this question will be there. So without this, there is no question paper. Please go through this. So what is the objectives of secondary education? As they reach the adolescent period, maybe they will complete, they will be there in the school for 7 or 8 years, yes or no, and they will every year they learn and they grow. Every year they learn and grow. So how do they grow? They not only grow physically, you are making them to grow mentally, emotionally. Okay, so you are training them. Okay, so education, secondary education always will be like 2 to 3 years or 3 to 4 years. Okay, it depends upon the states, whether it is 2 years or whether it is 3 years. So mostly everybody will follow 10 plus 2 pattern of education. Okay, 10 after 10th, 11th, 12th. Okay, so it depends upon the state. But in our state, in Karnataka state, we have 8th standard, 9th standard and 10th standard. When coming to the secondary education, we call them as PU college. Yes or no? It provides strong foundation for higher education. So after they go PU college, then they go to degree college. Okay, so it depends upon the states. So in secondary education, students generally read English, maths, science, social, and Hindi, Kannada. Yes or no? They read all these languages. Sometimes only in PU they take Sanskrit. Okay, whatever they like, they take it there. So secondary education students also take some elective classes. Okay, which might be artistic, vocational, technological. Okay, it may be like that. So secondary education, according to the NEP, we have value based education. According to NEP, we have to give a value based education, and we should give a strong foundation for higher education, and also we have to give a qualitative education, and they should know, okay, as soon as they finish their course, they should develop discipline, leadership quality, patriotism. Okay, so these are the things that you are going to make the child. So here there are few points where you can understand. First, understand what is the sentence. Afterwards, you can write it in your own words. Please make notes and write it in points. Better don't write in paragraphs. Okay, paragraphs doesn't matter. See, for 5 mark question, compulsory you should write 1.5 pages, and for 10 marks you should write completely 3 pages. Okay, complete 3 pages. So make it point, make an introduction, then point. First you give an introduction about secondary education. What is secondary education in India, how they follow, what NEP is telling about secondary education. Next, come to Karnataka state, then what our state is following, that one you tell, and then you start with the objectives, major objectives. What is the major objectives of secondary education? Secondary education is meant essentially for all round development. Okay, first of all, they develop all round development. First point. Second point, it develops manpower for different levels of economy, ultimately promoting self reliance. Okay, so level of economy, first one is all round development, levels of economy, that is self reliance, and it develops a sense of good citizenship. The third one is good citizenship. Okay, the discipline, leadership quality, patriotism. So you all these things you think, and then write. Third one is good citizenship. Fourth one, democratic values. Democratic values, rights, duties in democratic setup among the students. So this helps the students to come out. How they develop patriotism, all this is natural spirit through service activities like NCC, campus, scout, guides. Okay, so give all these examples. And the fifth point is it strengthens the whole world as one family view and motivates the younger generation for international cooperation and peaceful coexistence. Okay, you're preparing the students. Fifth point. Sixth one, it provides equality of educational opportunity for all, not only in access but also in the condition for success. Okay, so you should write this point. And second one, and the last one, minimum levels of learning would be laid down. See, first you should understand that the students should at least have a secondary education certificate. At least they should complete the secondary education. So the secondary education shall reflect needs and aspirations of society and nation, and it will give way. Okay, it will give way for future life. Okay, for also for higher education, whatever they choose, their own professions. Okay, it gives a way. So on the whole, you are preparing the secondary class student to face the future. Okay, to make them to, you are making them motivated to have a positive environment to select their own professions, own career. Okay, so find out these points, you put it into your own words and write it. And the second one is, why secondary education is very important, why we should study secondary education. Because it teaches the, because why we have to go until secondary education, because it makes the students all rounder. Yes or no? In the previous point we have read, it develops all rounder development, material, spiritual, physical, everything, emotional, they develop. Okay, all round development. And the second one is, they wanted to become a good leadership, patriotic, okay, a good citizens. And the third one is to improve the rational development and practical skills of the students. See, till now they were studying. In our secondary education, they have practical classes also, in like biology, chemistry, whatever it is, they take the subjects, they go for the practical. So practical skills of the students also developed, and to develop the practical efficiency of the students, to improve the effectiveness. Okay, to improve the effectiveness in the practical efficiency of the students. Okay, next question, features of secondary education in NEP, National Educational Policy. What this NEP is talking about? So what this objectives of secondary education in India? See, in India, to provide quality and value based education, and second one is to provide strong foundation, and the third one is we take 10 plus 2 plus 3 after 10th, 11th and 12th, after that degree college. Okay, so they, and provide 3 years of secondary education to bring qualitative improvement of secondary education. And then we provide education for all to develop manpower for different level of economy. And next one, socialism, secularism and democracy as enshrined in our constitution, and to have a developed personal balanced personality. Okay, the next one is, see this there are different types of schools. As I already told, this is 1.2 next lesson. So the first, in 1.1 unit, the first unit, first lesson, see we have secondary education, higher secondary education. Okay, in this only secondary education will come, so concentrate only on secondary education, that is enough. So moving on to 1.2, the next lesson is the salient features of types of schools, government aided schools or unaided schools, whatever it is. See, government schools, we know that government undertake the schools. Okay, so the government aided school is they owned by the private management, but everything, rules and regulations are followed here as same as that of the public schools. The curriculum, study material, syllabus, etc., each class of the educations are done according to the government rules, that is government aided school. And public private types of school, this schools, everywhere we have, everywhere private schools, they are like some schools are elementary school, middle school, high schools. Okay, this schools, private schools, they, that is their own management, they select their own syllabus. Okay, but they are not funded by the government or the state. Okay, they are not paid for the public tax, or not subject to the regulations that govern public schools. See, most of the private school choose to stray too far from the federal policies. Okay, so public schools, they are allowed to set their own criteria for admitting the students, but for public schools, for government schools, there are set of rules. Now yesterday we have seen that from 2025 onwards, the first standard students should compulsory have 6 years of age. So in yesterday newspaper they have written like that. From that is applicable to everyone, but private schools, they have their own set of, like nursery, they take nursery, lkg, ukg, then all these they choose their own curriculum and syllabus. Okay, this is the private schools. Urban schools, what is called as urban schools? Urban schools is like they stay in the urban places, and nowadays I think whether they are funded or not, partially funded, something poorly funded, they, because nobody is going to that urban schools with the attendance is very less. Okay, nowadays I think, okay, I don't know much about that, but I think the level, the attendance level is reduced. Okay, so we have certain rules, government have set certain rules for large, medium size, small size school, like urban places. This large means they should be till higher secondary schools, middle mid size means till middle school, small means only elementary school, like that they have. Okay, so here in this we have an important question, that is different types of schools, government schools and private schools, differentiate. This may be they ask for 5 marks. This is what my ma'am gave me when I studied b.ed. My ma'am gave me this differentiation. This is very important. I don't know whether you will get it in any other notes, but still, please, if you want to study, you can study. Okay, so you can even take your own notes, how the government schools differentiate the government school and the private school points. Okay, this is only very important question. This is a 5 mark question. Moving on to the next one, 1.3. Okay, that is different types of schools. What are the schools? Kendra Vidyalaya school, international schools, residential schools, all these Navodaya schools, and level of this one, state board syllabus, CBSE, ICSE, IGCSE, all these. Okay, so in this, the very important questions, they see, sometimes they ask only Kendra Vidyalaya, sometimes they ask only Navodaya schools, sometimes they ask both the schools, like Navodaya, Morarji Desai residential school, like that they combine. But you have to read all these three. Very very important question, very important. Without these questions you cannot see a question paper. So first, coming to Navodaya schools. What is Navodaya schools? See, Navodaya school, with Navodaya Vidyalaya system is a unique experiment, unparalleled in the annals of school education in India. Okay, so it is only in India, and that too in we have schools in most of the states. In all the states we have this type of schools. Why we have this type of schools? See, after this 1986, after this national policy on education 1986, this setup, this residential school setup was started. First they called Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya. Okay, before it was like that, and later they changed the name as Navodaya Vidyalayas. Okay, so here they see that it is set up in the rural place. First thing is rural. There they search for SC and ST childrens. Okay, Okay, reservation for rural SC, ST children, and most preferably girls children. Okay, and this is mostly conducted only by the merit. They have to prepare for the entrance exam. Once they get through the entrance exam, they are admitted in the school. Okay, and the school is developed and conducted by NCERT. Okay, and followed by CBSE syllabus. Okay, and all India basis and at block and district levels. Okay, they conduct this exam throughout India. And the second point is for SC and ST and especially girl students, most preferably girl students. And third one is it is a co-education. Third one it is co-education, and also they give free education. Mention this, free education, and it is affiliated to CBSE. First point, first how you should write, first one, they conduct the merit entrance exam. They select the students only by the merit. Second one, it is affiliated to CBSE. And third one, for SC/ST children and especially girls children. And the fourth point, it is co-education and free education. Co-education and free education. And entry to Navodaya Vidyalaya is in class 6 only, along with lateral entry into class 9 and 11. Okay, and they collect a minimal amount of fees. Very minimal amount of fees is collected. Okay, so these are some of the points that you have to keep in mind. And they follow the 3 language formula and national integration. And finally, it is located in rural areas across the country. Okay, because the government offers the free land, and rent free temporary buildings for setting up a Navodaya Vidyalaya school. Okay, very important question. This is very important question. And the next one, Moraj Desai lesson, we will see in the next class. Okay, till this we can finish. So the first important thing what we were studying, we learned today about the secondary education, that is 1.1. because DMSC we have enough of portions. Okay, so you have to go little bit faster and you should learn quickly. Okay, so the first lesson 1.1, higher secondary education is very important question. Please go through that. In 1.2 we need differentiate between the government school and public schools. Okay, that is very important. And in 1.3 we have to study Navodaya school is very important. Moraj Desai school is important. Kittu Rani Channam. See, compulsory at least 2 schools they will ask. Either in one in 10-mark question and one in 5-mark question. Okay, the silent features of which schools, any other schools. And this Kendra Vidyalaya, Muraj Desai, these schools, in the subunit of 10th questions, 10-mark question. See, A will be what is secondary education. B will be what is the difference between government school and public school. And third will be, C will be explain the silent features of Kendra Vidyalaya or Navodaya school, like that. Okay, so the marks will be equally distributed, but this is the pattern of asking the question, and we'll see later all these questions. Okay, thank you so much.